Peace, peace, peace. What's going on, everybody? Let's put it in perspective podcast. It's your boy B Mad, my boy Raymundo. This was episode 7 for us.
Raymundo,
We splice these joints up. You know what I'm saying? This do say
episode
Friday,
7.
episode 7. Got my drink ready.
That's
Nets,
right.
Nets recap, Nets loss, KD, man, COVID protocols, all types of craziness going on tonight, man. What you think, Ray?
Tell move how the game went. Like it's in your face. We're gonna need the real B dot camera set up for your reactions during the game. We're gonna need that live.
Yo, man,
Real Nets fan. Yeah, it was after.
Bro, I was pissed, man. Watching the second half of this game, just
It
alone.
was after KD went down.
Yeah, it went downhill from that point. I was just frustrated, man. They were just doing some dumb mistakes, letting Toronto back in the game. I felt like Toronto was just the aggressor the whole game. They're just a pesky team to play against, man. And I guess they know that as a part of their DNA. To get in the heads of teams like the Nets. And I think that's something the Nets got to look forward to going down the line because I think a lot of teams are going to take that same approach against them, especially come playoff time, man. Because from the jump, Toronto was playing James Harden up close, like checking him full court. It wasn't like it was waiting for the half court to get set. They were in their face, man, and it did cause some problems for them up early. Oh.
I Going into the game, we went over their stats because we were at a high going. We came off a high with the Clipper game, and that was incredible. So that game was versus the Clippers, probably the best game of the year so far.
Yes.
So after the Nets, we it's the top. It's a top 3, top 14 in the league. So going into this game, I don't know if they call it a trap game. The gamblers like to call it that. They have their own terms.
Yeah,
so we went into a Toronto's stats. Their middle of the pack offense. We were worried about Van Fleet and Lowry. Even though did Van Fleet even play today?
He did. He only had like 8.
That was him that charged into
Irving. Didn't have a good game. Didn't have a good game.
So we worried about Lowry. We were worried about the Lowry was killing. Siakam came on at the end,
killing.
And they came in 9-12 record, but now they're 10-12, 7th seed. The biggest concern for us was second in the league with deflections and steals, third in the league in drawing charges. So they're just pesky. First in defensive loose balls. I don't even know, all the nerds. I think the nerds, because when it's time to gamble, I'm getting back on this in the game.
Yo,
the Nets had 1 day's rest. Toronto had 2 days rest. And here's another one from the gambling side.
That's had
the Nets are 0 and 4. No, they had 1 day. They played the Clippers. They had 1 night's rest. Toronto hasn't played in 2 nights.
The Nets played Tuesday. They were off Wednesday night. They was off Thursday night. They played tonight.
Okay. All right. So either way, last stat that stood out for us was 0 and 4 covering the spread. The Nets are 0 and 4 covering a spread after a game that they covered the spread. Wow. Those little gambling statistics that I never paid mind to as a kid. So they didn't cover.
You went digging in the crates for that, but go ahead. So it's a good stat.
Yo, no, I found some gambling dude on YouTube. I want to shout him out in a second. But look what happened. For whatever reason, it turned out that way. I mean, once they lost Durant, they lost the length on defense. Yeah. What Toronto has is length. They play the pass all day. We did second in the league in deflections, second in the league in steals. And your favorite stat, the first thing you go to every night is 18 turnovers for the Nets.
And wait, can I add
7 by Kyrie?
Can I add something to that? How many points you think Toronto scored off those turnovers?
Yes.
26, bro. 26 points. Listen, the Nets.
How come I seen it said Oh,
What?
that's all right.
That's Toronto. They scored 26 points off those
No,
turnovers.
I was reading it in reverse. Right.
Ah, and look, Brooklyn out rebounded them. That hasn't been an issue for Brooklyn. They get the rebound, they out rebound teams. The turnovers was killing them, man. It's happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening every night. And they're winning games because they had that offense that's just they have a superpower
Yeah.
offense that could overcome that. But still, man, like playing against a team like Toronto, even with KD being out in the second half, Brooklyn's supposed to still beat Toronto, man. I mean, Toronto's a pesky team. They played them well defensive wise, but Brooklyn should have won this game.
I don't going into it. That's what I'm saying. As
You
soon
did.
as KD they took him out of the game, or he had his fourth foul and they had him in the game.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to save him for the fourth quarter because they can generate these points so fast. So why would you want to risk that? Like that was if there was ever a time this year that we said, yo, did Steve Nash fuck up? It was today.
Yeah, it was today.
It was today. He
I think
fucked
this is
up.
the first
It
glaring.
doesn't matter what.
It's the first glaring fuck up for him. But go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But Toronto, like you said, they're going to be pesky, and it's an Eastern Conference team. But it was a seesaw game, and that's what the Nets wanted. It's just that they weren't. So if it's a seesaw game, they're at full strength. It's a different story. But without Durant, you can't close out a game without Durant. They they don't have that luxury at all.
Right. You would think that even with two caliber players like Harden and Kyrie, which another glaring stat, Kyrie only had one shot in the fourth quarter. He took a 3-point shot with 20 seconds left. Bro, he had no points in the fourth quarter. I don't care what's going on. I don't care if KD's not there. Kyrie's supposed to get some shots off, man. He's supposed to score some points in that quarter, especially that KD's not coming back. You know he's gone. They hooked him for the COVID protocol. Kyrie and Harden, they supposed to just get aggressive and just take over. How does this dude only get one shot with like less than a minute left in the fourth quarter in the tight ball game? Nah, son. Now Cypher, man.
I I gotta blame. If there's any blame to give in terms of KD being there, it has to go to Harden because he's the ball. He's the point guard basically now. He's the general on the court, and this is the issue with those kind of personalities with all three of them. I dubbed Durant and Kyrie the crybaby brothers from the beginning.
Yo, but
So if you don't have,
they
oh,
haven't been living up to that title. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead.
I mean, you wanted to talk about that. You wanted to talk about how you've been watching their post game interviews and you've been so impressed with their verbiage post game and how they sound so mature in life. They drink tea and do
Yo,
yoga together.
yo, they've been showing improvement. Yo, listen, the mentality, I love it. The way they're talking, their body language. I'm saying all this, the sports lingo, the cliche, like all the stuff that they say, like the body language, the way they're talking to the press, like the mindset is different. Even the way James Harden, the first game, James Harden came and he dropped a triple double. First thing he says in the post game, oh man, I got to work on my turnovers, trying to find my timing, find everyone else on the timing, set people up. He knew his agenda was to be the facilitator from the jump, so he knew his spot. He knew his role coming in, and he's averaging a triple double, so he's doing his thing. Some people want James to be more aggressive, but I'm like, you really don't have to. He can keep doing what he's doing, as long as you got KD and Kyrie there. As long as James Harden sets the table, they should be fine. But yo, man, the turnovers, the fast break turnovers for other teams has been hell.
So who's the second best player on it? Because first
Second
is
best
Durant.
player is James Harden. First is KD, then Kyrie.
Who's the second? Who's the best scorer on the team?
KD. Clearly,
Who's the
KD.
second best scorer?
Kyrie.
The second best scorer is Kyrie.
the second best. Yeah, James Harden is your facilitator now. He doesn't have to put up the points he put up in Houston. I mean, he could be the number one scorer if he really wanted to, but no, KD's the guy. That's the captain. That's your number one if there is a number one between these three. But James Harden sets the table. He's the facilitator. He's your point guard. But
See, I think if that is their mindset, since you're
yeah,
a Brooklyn Nets fan, you guys might be in sync and in tune together in Looney Tuneville. If they don't understand that once Durant sits down, Harden is the number one scorer, and he chooses to pass that ball because he's the facilitator. He gets the feel for the game. Kyrie is not the one to get a feel for the game and pass the ball off because he
I'm
sees
not.
somebody's hot. It's not Kyrie's decision to do that.
Listen, if KD's not in the game and you have James Harden being the facilitator, he could set Kyrie up for point. Bro, it's clearly happened. How many points is Kyrie averaging right now? How many points is James Harden averaging right now?
I think it's
Clearly, if
25,
James Harden's
26,
focus is
or
not scoring, he said it. Like he's going to
maybe
get his
22,
points. 22?
something like that. Yeah, I'll look it up.
Yo, Kyrie's your second best scorer right now, as is. The way the team is constructed, you want Kyrie to be your second best. If James Harden could take over, then so be it. That's fine. We know what he's capable of doing. But long as he sets the table, he's setting up Kyrie, he's setting up KD, Joe Harris, Jeff Green. You're set. I think, I really think this team's gonna
So
go
maybe
far.
I'm asking the maybe I'm at so maybe I'm asking the question wrong.
Okay.
Your number one option, if there is one, is going to
K-
be KD.
KD. Yes.
He's going to give you he's going to give you the easiest opportunity. He's going to have the easiest opportunities to score.
Yeah.
Second has to be James Harden. James Harden is more of a mismatch on versus any team than he is. That's how I look at it. So if we're in the fourth
I can see that.
quarter versus the Toronto Raptors, not a weak team,
Right.
not a weak team, and then they're second in the league in what we said,
Right.
not in defense, but in deflections and just they're the stats show that they're a pesky team. So
Right.
James Harden is a pesky offensive player. Why wouldn't you want to counter that and put more pressure on the D? I understand Kyrie not having, he should have been more aggressive, but they're going through maybe a little bit what Miami went through the first year when their championship run with LeBron was on Miami, and D Wade the second year. We're always going to refer to this because it's a real thing in this era, especially.
Right.
So with Dwayne Wade having to tell LeBron, you know what, you're the best player. Has there been that conversation with Kyrie, like, yo, KD's the best player, and guess what? I'm the second best player, and you are gonna get hot. We're gonna get you the ball whenever we can, but James Harden makes things happen. So he
See,
has to be more aggressive in the fourth quarter, especially when your best player is sitting down.
no, absolutely. I agree on that. I agree. Especially if KD, him and Kyrie got to be aggressive. I mean, listen, just listening to I watched like tonight before this game. I listened to the post interviews from the last three games that they had, and the losses they had when they lost to the Wizards, and even the win they had over the Clippers. The way they're talking, like Kyrie, this is the most at peace I've heard Kyrie sound to the press in years. Like he just sounds like he's in tune with the team philosophy. It's team first. I'm gonna do my job. Everyone got else to do their job, step up, play their role, know their role. No, he's even mentioned James Harden being the facilitator. Everyone knows that now. You know your role. Like they starting to gel at this point. We're starting to get to the point where all right, we kind of know what type of the DNA of this team. We know we're not the best defensive minded team. We know we got work have to work on that. But I think we know that KD is the best player. I don't think that's an argument from James Harden or Kyrie. And it just seems like they just
No,
on a united front. No?
right, but that's not no know that the argument will never be who's the best player. KD is obviously the best player, and even if he wasn't, if he lost him on defense or wherever, he's still the one that gives you the best opportunities on offense to score. Can
Absolutely.
jump over everybody from
Right.
anywhere. But James Harden is your second best scorer. He's also your best facilitator. So that's why I'm asking. That's why I think the confusion comes in for Kyrie just naturally. That has to be talked about. And there's a personality conflict with Kyrie being that reluctant to speak to the media. I would think, I don't know. I don't want to delve into his mind, but that's what we do as fans.
Right.
So there has to be a major discussion on there amongst them.
I
Yo,
really,
KD's out. You know what time it is.
I think you're just speculating because I think they're at a point where they don't even care. Like they're past that. Like it just, I'm just telling you from just hearing them talk, all three of them, post game, in the press conference, after the game, like just they sound different. Like they know what they have to do. They know everyone knows their role. Like it's no like I need. We're trying to figure out what Kyrie's going to be. Is he going to be the head scorer, lead scorer? I think they're past that point, bro. I really do. I really do. I think when James Harden came here, he just knew like, all
No,
right,
well,
what?
they
I,
might be past the post game, how to finesse the media talk, but I'm talking about in game, fourth quarter. Yo, what are you doing? Give me that ball. I don't. Durant is not even that aggressive. Harden is not even that aggressive. Kyrie's the only one with that type of personality who would be a certain like shot like that in the middle of a game to LeBron. Kyrie doesn't care. He has more of a radical mind than the other two. That's all I'm saying. You were with Kyrie having one shot in the fourth quarter, and we would expect him to be more
but
aggressive. I'm more upset with hooking up 10 more shots.
okay, but have we really had that situation come up yet? Like I really people keep talking about it like, yo, they waiting for it to happen. Like, oh, who's gonna take the last shot? I think they're like, yo, listen, whoever gets in that position and the way the game is going in that fourth quarter, take the shot. If you're open, take the shot. It's gonna be one of those three. And I'm fine with that. I mean, if the first option, if you have one option, I want KD taking that last shot. But I don't think that's just hearing them talk. I don't think that's an argument, man. I really don't. I think as us as fans and people in the media, they need something to
No,
talk,
no,
and I think they're gonna be all right.
not the last shot. I'm saying this particular game that just finished a little while ago.
Right?
There is no, it's not a last shot. I'm talking about KD sits down, and we haven't established the game plan when KD sits down. That should have been talked about from the beginning, since KD was not even supposed to play in the first place. So
Right.
Harden's mentality to me is what I'm more disappointed with, not Kyrie. I
Mm,
expect Kyrie to be willing to shoot the ball 10 times in the fourth quarter.
okay.
You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be Harden. Harden is the floor general. He's the one that has to go. All right, I'm not gonna pass it, just like LeBron. Harden would be in LeBron's position right now. Not that
Right.
he's better than KD, but he's the one who decides where the ball goes. And
Yeah.
LeBron does that. It's just that LeBron's a better player.
Right.
I don't know if you want to touch on that game. Incredible,
Oh, what LeBron?
man. What the Lakers did was,
Chicken nuggets.
yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yo, I gotta be honest with you.
Oh,
I seen a few of the highlights. I didn't watch. I ain't watch enough of the game. I just know he cooked those dudes. 20-piece chicken McNuggets right there.
yo, it's the first half.
Yeah.
It was I didn't understand why Jokic was killing like that because he was moving so slow.
Yo, I already told you.
And he wasn't even killing. I'm sorry.
What is he doing? What was the stat
He
line
wasn't
for
even killing. He was
you
doing
remember the stat
okay.
line?
He had like 4 points. I don't even I forgot the stat line. First half, he had like 6 points because he had a tip in at the end of the first half.
Okay.
But Anthony Davis was kind of hampered with the
Uh,
foul trouble. But it wasn't that. It was the
it
fact
never
that
been
every
that good.
time LeBron was on the court, they just looked like a different team.
Yeah, Jokic didn't have a good game, man.
He didn't have
Damn.
a good game.
13, 9, and 6. That's pedestrian for him.
Right. So LeBron is on a if anybody were to ever question at what place LeBron is at in his career and to question whether or not he's on the same level as Michael, even on the same level as Michael Jordan, is insane to me because the way he controlled the game last night or the night before was incredible. The way he was talking to the ref, it looked like he was like the ref's boss. It's like the ref understood. Yeah, he's the boss around here,
There's
and
that cachet.
that was in the first half. He was kind of like working the ref. Then yeah, definitely. Then right when the second half starts, they throw a cross, a, a a pass all the way down court because Schroeder has Jokic on him and he gets an and one. That was one foul. Then the next play they follow up another and one on Jokic. They were targeting him to get him in foul trouble. The gear that they turned up in the third quarter, nobody in the league can play with them at that level. And it's always been that way when LeBron is just in tune. Game 6 versus Boston, 45 points, 15 rebounds, the 48 special. And the only other team that I see that can play on this level is the Nets, and specifically on offense.
Yeah,
But what
definitely
troubles me is going
offense.
to be, like you always point to, the turnovers.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, the Nets play Philly tomorrow, back to back. You play
No
Toronto
KD.
tonight, and they play Philly tomorrow. Whew. It's going, man.
And Philly's a top. Philly turns the ball over also.
Yeah, they actually do. They do.
Yeah. So that was a big deal for us. And we're always gonna point to that. I think we gotta make like a segment on this and post it up like a 20-second or 30-second one showing why this is a bad thing for the Nets. People think they hear something because I see people saying this is overrated now about their defense. No, to turn the ball over like that, have live ball turnovers like that, and then have bad defense, that means your transition defense is going to sub. You have nobody down there to anchor to at least have the defense set up and slow up a fast break or a transition offense. So now the teams like the Clevelands of the world, the Torontos of the world, Toronto averages 111 points a game. They're an average offensive team. So Cleveland is the second to worst offensive team in the league.
Yes.
That's how these teams are able to stay in the game, like you pointed out early in the season with the turnovers.
Yeah.
So Harden has to slow down with that. And Kyrie today, the most disappointing thing from him for me was the 7 turnovers. So I don't know how they can fix that. I don't know how they can fix that. And Andre Drummond
I I
if there's a trade to make, it has to be him.
I tell you how they fix it. You better outgun everybody you play. I mean, because listen, I mean, you like I said it before. I mean, you can tweak the defense. You can work on some defensive schemes, have some defensive sets, rotations. But man, I don't know. There's teams that they should be beating, and they just letting them just score, man. Like in the fourth quarter, even with a lead, I've seen them blow those leads and make the game becomes a tight game. They've won too many games with we won by 4 points in a tight game. We won by 3, we won by 1. Like nah, that's not gonna work. I mean, yo, listen, they have a great team. If they're on clicking
Right.
on all cylinders, they'll shoot you out the fucking arena. But if you're playing them tight and it's a tight ball game, man, and those turnovers going to come into play, you can't do that in the playoffs. You're not doing that against LA, the Lakers. You're not doing that against the Clippers. That was a great take. You're not doing it against Philly. I'm telling you, man, they're gonna have problems if they keep it up this way. We'll see. We'll
Who
see.
they actually blew out this year.
Uh, they blew out.
I don't.
They had a
I
blowout
don't
lead.
remember.
It's 20 point blowout against. Damn man, who they play? I mean, but still, either way, I mean, not too many. Put it like that. Not too many blowouts. That's not good, especially with this offense. You averaging
And
all
then
these
I
points,
and I don't
but
know. I don't
you're
know.
allowing all these points.
and I don't expect them to blow anybody out. So I mean, it's the same story. We're gonna be a little more. Well, B's gonna be a little more depressed because the Nets lost, and I don't know. We can move on. Yo, you know what I want to do is promote, maybe promote some of our series coming up.
Okay, you could do that. You could do that.
We got the
Why not?
we
We
got we got the one line. I got one that's the one liners. Yeah, we got one that's the one liners,
mm,
like best one liners you ever heard in a song.
oh my God.
And of course we got some of the real peaks and primes of rappers,
Oh,
and
and
compare them and see who
listen,
was really in
listen,
their prime, who did what in their prime.
listen. All my Jigga Warriors, all my whole Vengers. Don't think I forgot you. I made this podcast. You know I'm talking about Hove. It's gonna happen. It's gonna piss off some other people. I ain't gonna go crazy on it, but nah, we gonna definitely we're gonna get into some Jay-Z talk, man. Jay's peak is crazy. And we're definitely gonna save that for another episode. That's gonna be a special one. And of course, we gotta talk about Ether and
Yeah.
Takeover just for the fun of hip hop. I know this topic's been run to the ground, this is beating a dead horse, but we gotta talk about it. This is Brooklyn versus Queens right here. You got BK over here, you got Queens over there. It's the ultimate.
It was
What?
how ironic that in that battle Queens was taking it. How ironic they were
Hey,
taking from them.
can't win them all, man.
They weren't taking it.
Can't win them all. But we was busting that ass for a moment. It's all right. Word up. But yeah,
Nah,
man.
that was KRS One, man.
We
Ain't
got a
no,
lot
ain't no
of
dudes
huh?
kill Queens before that.
Yeah, MC Shan and the KRS.
There's
That was
been dudes that killed
who?
the
What do?
legendary the legendary battle.
Yes. Definitely
No, I
legendary.
don't know. That's all I was saying. I don't remember any Brooklyn dude beating Queen dude.
Oh no, it was just that hasn't happened. It was Jay and Nas. That was it. That's really the only one you could think of, as far as I know. I haven't heard anybody else. Oh,
Yeah.
Jay just finishing Prodigy's I don't know, man. A lot of people say Prodigy's solo career after he made Return of the Mac and H and I HNIC. I mean, I love that album, but like Return of the Mac and the mixtapes he had after that, the albums he had after that, to me they were all right. It wasn't old Prodigy, it wasn't Mob Deep Prodigy, it wasn't infamous Hell on Earth, Murder Music Prodigy, HNIC Prodigy. He was never the same to me after that, man. Like I don't know what happened with Prodigy, like his rhyme flow. Rest in peace, man. Bandana P, man. But I don't know, man. After Takeover, it was just to me, a lot of people gonna argue that, but to me, he was never the same. So if you want to take that as a L for Queens, go
I thought
ahead.
his flow changed from I thought his flow changed from earlier on. Like it slowed down after. Which one's the one with the Nas song? The Life
Murder
Is
music,
Mine.
murder music. That's the
Murder
last
music.
that 3 album run. That let me touch
I,
on that real quick. The Mob Deep's 3 album run is one of the best in hip hop. From the infamous Hell on Earth, the murder music. Yo, Prodigy was with Jay said it on the Juan Epstein their podcast when they interviewed Jay. Prodigy was top 5 at one point, and that's the truth. Anybody from New York, I mean, people outside of New York, it might be our regional bias, but Prodigy was top 5, like especially Hell on Earth.
he
Hell on
was
Earth,
top
Prodigy was
10.
different, huh?
I say top 10 lyricists at that time, and I can't even say lyricists, but like MC
I mean,
artists.
yeah,
Right before Jay Z blew up. After
Jay blew up after Hard Knock Life. I mean, he was. We know how lyrically nice he was with Reasonable Doubt in Volume One, but Jay really just took off to another. Started that taking off to another stratosphere with Volume 2 selling that 5 mil, man. It was just different in New York when Volume 2 Hard Knock Life dropped, man. That was a moment.
All right. All right. That's enough Jay-Z talk. Pro- I you know what I wanted to say about the Prodigy thing, just to finish that? I don't know what when, when people say he fell off, if we're talking about like, hits wise, they still had hits after HNIC. So I never really understood that. They fell off as a group, but Havoc picked. I just never.
Havoc
To me, even
Havoc picked up the
HNIC, I
slack.
wasn't a big fan of it.
A lot, and I've heard that from a lot of people, man. I don't know. I like that album. I really did. I mean, I used to play the shit out of that album, but I just think Havoc kept getting better lyrically, and he picked up the slack where P was started, slacking, off. Havoc started really picking it up, like America's Nightmare, those albums. What's the other one they made with 50? Was it Blood Money? I forgot the name of the album, but yo, Havoc, Havoc really was he stepped up his game.
Yeah. Yes, I want to at least promote that. Put more pressure on us to put it out there, let everybody listen to it,
Yeah,
and yeah, I was on. We finished the Nets recap.
yeah, man.
We're gonna have our thumbnails, our thumbnail titles. Little, don't worry about it.
Oh man, this dude say hitting. Yeah, man. But yeah, I think that's it, man.
So,
Hey,
sign.
once again, thank you everybody for following us, man. Please like and subscribe our page. Put it in perspective. Put it in perspective TV, right? Or I don't. Man, I got I gotta get that right.
The YouTube or
The
oh,
YouTube
for the
page,
Twitter. You mean Twitter or YouTube?
both.
YouTube is put it in perspective V. Yeah, because
Okay,
it looks like TV. Put it in perspective. It doesn't let me spell out perspective. It was PUTINPUTITNPRSPECTV.
okay. Yeah, man. I appreciate all the followers, all the support. Oh man, a lot of people, man. Homie Kill with the Apartment 5B podcast. They show love. Of course, Storm Jenkins.
Doing
She
this
showed a
thing.
lot of love. Her podcast, Swagability. Please check that out. Yo, just everyone on Twitter, man. People that follow me, they follow back with the page out of love. I really appreciate it, man. So yeah, man, we headed in the right direction.
Definitely.
We're trying to get this
Definitely. Dominican, just
around.
get Dominican
Yeah. All right, man. Well, yeah, man. I
from,
think
from Panama to Santo Domingo. You get all the love.
yes, sir. Yo, signing off. Peace and love, everybody. Till next time. Peace.